Good morning and welcome to Monday's Early Morning Intuitive Guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well, and I hope you all had a lovely Easter holiday. If you partake, yeah, me and the universe, we were having a little go around yesterday. Things did not pan out as expected, so I was irritated with the universe. I'm not sure how far that gets me, but I was irritated with the universe. Good morning, Joe Neal. Welcome. Glad you are here. We'll give it a minute. There's Barb. Good morning. Good morning. Glad you're here. We'll give it a minute for the practical rebels to all be in the house, and then we'll move forward. Hang on, I've got a frog. Good grief. So the birds are very happy today. That's a good beginning to a day, a good beginning. So yeah, yesterday's issues. I mean, it was just a comedy of errors and a comedy of things beyond one's control. So I didn't get to see my grandbaby, which bummed me out greatly, nor her mother and her significant other. Yeah, so so the first issue was I went to make peach cobbler because I thought, well, I'll make it the day of because then it'll still be crunchy. You know, if you make it the day before, then it kind of gets mushy. It's peach mush. Anyway, grab the bag of brown sugar and it is a rock, an absolute rock. And I'm like, I am not going to the grocery store on Easter Sunday. No. So I Googled, how do you quickly, I mean, I know the bread crust trick, but that takes some time. So I asked how you do that quickly. Basically, you put it on a plate, you put a damp paper towel over the top, and you microwave for 20 seconds at a pop, then poke at it with a fork to see when it falls apart. So it wasn't great, but it was good enough to get the job done. So the glaze on the ham was brown sugar and pineapple juice, and I figured the acid from the pineapple juice would chew up the brown sugar chunks, and it did. So that worked out fabulously. But we had a 15-pound ham. My sister goes overboard. 15-pound ham. And we started out, we were going to have 8.5 people. I think she's probably only this big. 8.5 people. By the time all was said and done, we ended up with 5 people. 5. Yeah. So I said, well, okay, each of you's got to eat 3 pounds of ham then. It was just, yeah, just one of those gigs. Yes, we had someone who was sick. We had someone who's, well, 2 vehicles that didn't work. So it was just one of those. Good morning, Nancy. Glad you are here. Welcome. So anyway, I was a little bit peevish with the universe, and then I pulled today's card. And what's even funnier about today's card, yes, those 5 people were meant to be there. Absolutely. But I really, really, really wanted my dad to meet his great granddaughter. I mean, that's a pretty cool thing. So we'll work on that eventually. But I was checking for decks. First, I checked for the books. For some reason, I thought we might have Tosha today. Good morning, Mel. Glad you are here. Welcome. Happy Monday. Thought we were going to have Tosha. No. Then I checked Sharon. Nope. So then I started checking my piles of cards that you can see right here. No, no, no. And I'm like, what? What are we supposed to be doing? So, so then I checked, there's a little stack of 3 decks or 2 decks, the little bitty pocket decks, and that tested strong. And I'm like, universe, you're testing me, because let me show you the size of the writing in this little book. Yeah. So if I'm going like this when I'm reading it to you, you'll know why. And this particular deck has a card in it that I hate, absolutely hate. And I thought, if I get that card today and I'm supposed to share that with everybody, I'm going to be really peevish. I did not pull that card and I did not see that card. I have even thought about shredding that card. but I haven't. It's still in the deck. But the card that I pulled for us for today is amazing. Awesome. Fits with yesterday's card beautifully. Fits with the flow that we're working on right now. Good morning, Gwen. Glad you're here. Welcome. So, I guess I can quit being peevish with the universe for a bit. So let's start with some tapping and some breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. All the practical rebels here. Gotta love it. In through the nose, out through the mouth. One more. In through the nose, hold at the top. And let it go. Leftover ham. Yeah, do you want to know how many pounds of leftover ham? When after everybody was done eating what they were going to eat, my sister looked at it. I mean, this was an $84 ham she bought. She looked at it and she goes, "We didn't even make a dent." I said, "Nope, we didn't." But ham freezes. So she took 3 containers of ham to freeze. My brother and his wife took some. I threw some in the freezer. I put the ham bone, which still has a lot of meat on it, in the refrigerator, and I'm gonna make soup today or tomorrow. So we'll use it up, but holy buckets, that's a lot of leftover ham. A lot of leftover ham. And then I was wondering about the people who couldn't come because they had their stuff, right? So my daughter had already walked out of the house and they were gonna hop in the vehicle and show up. Good morning, Beth. Glad you're here. And they had a screw in one of the tires, so that vehicle was out. And the other vehicle has had the check engine light coming on, and she hasn't had the time to get it to the thing. But today they will be, because they're supposed to come down to Green Bay today, and they have no vehicle. So I'll figure that out. But yes, just weird stuff. So Light Seer's deck by Chris Ann. I'm going to move it close so those of you who haven't been here before can see the eyeballs looking through the eyelids. Yes, a little bit creepy, but kind of that idea of we have this extra set of eyes, this intuitive set of eyes. We have an intuitive set of ears for hearing. We have an intuitive sense of knowing. There's much that for many of us is coming more online now. And again, I've said this a bazillion times. 20 years ago, when I was teaching some of the energy-based stuff I was teaching, I really had to work to help people understand some of the concepts. Now people get it like that. Things have shifted. Things have shifted. So here is our card for today. And again, keep in mind what didn't happen yesterday. We had like about half the people we wanted. So 10 of Pentacles. Look at that. Community. Community. We even got the dog in there, right? So everybody's holding hands, everybody's having fun, everybody's playing. Community. And I'm like, this is interesting. Welcome to those of you whose names aren't rolling. Glad you're here. But again, this card is so spot on for what we've been talking about, desiring, approaching, etc. So the card came out right side up, but I will read the Shadow Seer side as well, just so that you can kind of mess with that too. The Light Seer side: spiritual and material abundance, community, generosity, wealth and prosperity, building a legacy. The Shadow Seer side, if it had come out this way, which it did not, but just so you know, chasing luxury and status, financial loss, negative energy around wealth. That fits for our time as well, doesn't it? But our card was this way. So let's see what else. It says, "Oh, baby, this is the big one. All the love, abundance, and joy that you can muster in your heart. It's coming your way, and it's coming fast. It's time to prepare for its inevitable arrival and to commit to your long-term success. This energy is so big, in fact, that you should be prepared to spread some of it around generously." We were talking about generosity yesterday, weren't we? "Bring an abundance of positive energy into your life and watch everything shift. Expect the arrival of success, happiness, and an upbeat, loving community. Please, I'm ready." Put me in, coach. Let's do this thing. An upbeat, loving community as avenues widen and the right connections click into place. Oh, yes, absolutely, Mel. There's intuition in all of our typical senses, and there's intuition way beyond those typical senses. So play around with that. Yes, fabulous. The right connections click into place. I was looking at my schedule for this week. This is a busier week. Next week's a busier week. And there are several opportunities in there where connections could be made. We shall see. We shall see. Good morning, Carolyn. Glad you are here. Welcome. Let me show you our card for today. 10 of Pentacles. It's about community and abundance and connection and joy and generosity and wealth. And there we are. Everybody's playing, having fun. All right, let's see what else it says. Remember that perceptions change. Remember our perspectical word? Perceptions change. You are one small move away from seeing the bigger picture and from unearthing a legacy of pentacles that is already yours. You deserve this success and love. Taste the pleasures of life and embody a state of consciousness that says, yes, I am worthy of all this success. And that is interesting also because for the last several days on the paraliminal audios that I've been working with, I felt pulled. Good morning, Tracy. Glad you are here. Welcome. Happy day after Easter. I've been pulled toward the worthiness stuff. So that was really interesting. So all of this is kind of holding together. So we have the day that doesn't go as planned, and then things begin to open up. And I've had that over and over and over again in my life where I've got a new Judith Viorst book, and I always remember her kids' book, Alexander's Terrible, No Good, Awful, Horrible Day. Remember that one? In my life, I've often found that when I have those terrible, horrible, no good, awful days, the next day something breaks open. The next day something breaks open. So you deserve this success and love. Taste the pleasures of life and embody a state of consciousness that says, yes, I am worthy of all of this success. So here's the mantra for today, the affirmation. I am successful and I share my wealth with those I love. I'm going to say, let's change that a little bit. I share my wealth broadly. So you may even be sharing with people you don't know. You can love them theoretically. You may not know them personally to love them, but love them anyway, right? And we can be generous with that stuff. We can be generous. And where was I? There was something I was listening to the other day. It was probably a YouTube video, but a young person, like 12, said there was some conversation going on around money, and this 12-year-old very astutely commented on how you love that book. Good. Yes. Let's dig that one back out and read it again. Judith Vior's stuff is fabulous. Yes. She now, for old people, she has decade books. So I'm reading the one about the 60s, being 60 right now. But she's got all these, they're like poetry books, poetry and prose. And I think she had one for the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, 60s. Yeah. But let's just kind of look at that. Where can we be of assistance? Where could we be generous? Where could we be generous in a way that moves us beyond the scarcity mindset that so many people have? Anyway, this 12-year-old, yes, you are worthy. Absolutely. And what a gift to finally learn that, huh? I totally get it. Totally get it. But this 12-year-old realized that what seemed like an average amount of money for him, and that he would not do jumping jacks over, it would just sort of be matter of fact. In someone else's hands, that amount of money could make a lifetime's worth of difference. A lifetime's worth of difference. And let's just take $5,000, just for shits and giggles, right? Making the best of what's left when we're too old to get the chairs reupholstered. I love that. What a beautiful title. Yes. How do we make the best of what's left? And much of it is a perspective shift. A perspective shift. Many of the books that I've been reading, and certainly Chip Conley is a leader in this regard. He talks about this being our third act, and that this is an opportunity to do the most, and not just most in terms of amount of things, but the deepest dive into who am I? Who do I want to be? How do I want to serve? What legacy can I leave? And not legacy in the terms of, I'm going to be, not legacy in the terms of how many buildings do I have my name slapped on, but legacy in terms of setting people on a different path, changing the trajectory for folks. And I think about the little things. So, someone having an old piano and giving it to a kid, and that kid blossoming with music. Teaching a kid how to dive. I remember the young woman who came over and helped me. We had a guest pass at the local one of the local hotels that had a pool. It was a family-owned hotel called Kaler's, and they had a pool. And my mother was trying to run our energy off, so at least once a week, Dad would take us to the pool, and we had a whole box of flippers and snorkels and balls and stuff to play in the water with. And I was trying to learn how to dive. And I don't know how old I was, maybe 7, 8, something like that. And I just couldn't get it. I just couldn't get it. And I'm standing on the side and I'm trying and trying and trying. And this young woman who was probably a swim person, a swim coach, whatever, came over and put her arm in front of my legs. And when I leaned forward, she flipped my legs up. And I was so excited. It was one little thing. It took her less than a minute, and it made all the difference for me. How many of those events have you had in your life where someone did something what they perceived as little? They held a door for you. They helped you pick up some papers you dropped. They let you into traffic on a day when you had just had it. Whatever it was, guess how many times you've done that and you don't even realize it. To you, it was a little deal. To that person, it made their whole day, their year, their life. Who knows? Who knows? Yes, there will always be helpers. Always be helpers. So be that helper. Be that helper today. It's Monday. Mondays can be hard for people. Yes, be grateful for those little moments. Yes. So that's our card for today. Community, connection, abundance, sharing, cooperation, collaboration, all the good things. All the good things. Let's go forth and put them out there. Have an awesome day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you are capable of far more than you think you are. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.